Where were you? April 1994. Think back then. Come on, some of you got to reach way back, I know. All right, 1994. Well, some of you may remember I barely heard about it. I was in college at that time, but in April of 1994 is when an airplane got shot down in Rwanda, and that triggered a series of events where in 100 days, 1 million Tutsi and others were massacred by friends, neighbors in their community. When we landed the first day we were able to be there, we went to the memorial. They don't want to forget what happened. We stood in a site where there was 250,000 people buried underneath our feet in one location, and around the nation. It's a very small nation, but you could see other memorials, 30,000 here, 50,000 there, in mass graves. They don't want to forget what happened. It goes back, the story, and I don't have time to really share it with you, but when the Germans came into Rwanda and profiled the facial features of these people, and they were separated into tribes, Hutu and Tutsi. So the group that we were with is called CARSA, which is an acronym that includes reconciliation in the name. And the people we were going to are those coming out of the ashes still. 20 years later, it's a nation that's coming up. It's rising up. But there's still a lot of healing. And this one group that we're with called CARSA has about 57 different reconciliation groups going around the nation. And one of the first places we landed was in this environment where the one on the left was the perpetrator, the one on the right was the victim, and he shattered and destroyed her life and her family, killed family members. She escaped. And now years later, he went to prison, but years later now, they're growing a cow together. They're raising a cow, and the proceeds of that has been a healing instrument. The milk and the money that comes out of that has brought reconciliation. There's some of these perpetrator-victim relationships that are now so close because of the healing that they've walked through. It's stunning the community, and it's a wonderful thing to see. Another group that we were with is another minority in the community of Rwanda, and these are the Pygmies. And as you can imagine, I was so excited to play basketball with these guys. No, we actually didn't play basketball. But we had about 30 individuals, some from this group called CARSA, plus a group of Pygmies, and then the victims and the perpetrators who had come together for entrepreneurial training. One of the best ways to bring people out of poverty, as you know, is job creation. And that's what we were doing there. This is a pygmy house that is being built, and for about $5,000 the community gave land, and this group is building homes and for the pygmy community. This is what we do. This is what we do in India. This is what has been done in Malawi. This is what we did in Rwanda. And this is something that John Sween has developed, and we're taking with him. And we start by going into community like we were this class. And we talk about discovering your design. How are you made? What are the things that stir you up? And we move from there to what's an entrepreneur? How do you think like an entrepreneur? How do we solve problems in our community? What's going on up in that village that we don't have in our village? Maybe there's an opportunity. And then the essentials for starting a business, we move into, and then doing business in the local context. And then we move into social enterprise and transformational leadership. How do we give back to those around us? We talk about character. Places like where in a lot of third world countries you can just assume character is necessary in those communities where corruption is rampant. And then finish up with something like a Shark Tank where they present their ideas. Okay, so we did this all in 1 week. Here's the group that we were with, a variety of people who participated that I mentioned earlier. But this is where we wanted to say thank you. Some of you gave to this facility, which was hosting this gathering. These are beds that were purchased, mosquito nets, as you can see, the bathroom. This is just 2 different angles that was there to furnish this gathering. This is the project that some of you gave to, and they want to say thank you. It made a world of difference. I ended up just using the outhouse in the back just to experience what's going on, and I'm getting myself into a hole here, right? But let me just tell you the difference. That was a good pun too. But the difference with what your gift did brought dignity to these people who've been overlooked. This is what we took them through. This was a business plan through that process that you saw earlier. And some of these business ideas, many of them which were great ideas. One of them was a mushroom farm. One of them was chickens. One of them was raising, and here they are pitching the idea, or working on their business plans. And then we finished up with them presenting their ideas. One was a seed bank. One was a plant nursery. And one of the speakers who came actually put a little bit of money on the table for the beginning of some seed money for these guys. And they're excited. It makes a difference. As I look at you guys, and just finishing up to say thank you for what you did, the skill sets that you guys have can literally transform the world and eradicate poverty. Not just the financial resources, but the knowledge that you have is something that is transferable. And that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing entrepreneurial leadership training. So I want to say thank you again. Every student left with one of these certificates. And this is something that they carry with them with pride. Many who didn't finish school now have a certificate of training, and this is the group. So businesses are starting. In fact, midway through the second day, one person went back to his land, dug some holes, planted some seeds, put some manure over it, and said, "I've started a business. Thank you for the inspiration I was missing in order to take a step ahead." So thank you. If you want to be a part of something like this, talk to myself, talk to John Sween, because there's people waiting for you to inspire them to great things. So thank you. And that's it, John.